everybody. Trey Griggs here, Beta Consulting Group. My boy, Hayden Allred. Hayden, what's
How we
up,
doing?
brother?
Dude, the intro reel of all the Iron Minds. That's the first time I've seen that reel, like in full.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
not bad. We got enough footage that we could put together a little highlight reel, which is awesome.
All right.
So,
How about that?
hey, welcome everybody. Episode 13 of Iron Minds. As you guys remember, our key verse is Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. We're here this morning to get our minds right, get our bodies right, get this week started off right. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hayden, what did you do this weekend, man? What's up? What's on your plate this week? I had an epic weekend, but I want you to go first.
Oh, dude, I might as well stop the story now because you're not even going to believe what happens next about my weekend. We did laundry, ton of laundry.
Get after it.
You know, 3 kids, working remote, Groundhog Day, behind the same 4 walls. Like, it's tough to, like, keep the house clean and, like, focus on the tasks at hand as the day progresses. So it's like we use the weekend now to catch up on, you know, whatever kicked our butts during the week, house-wise. And then just hung out with the kids.
Yep. Saturday is like a massive cleaning day, get caught up day.
Yep.
For sure. Although this weekend for us, man, was epic because our kids are at camp, baby. So
oh yeah,
they left Saturday at 2. So Saturday started the date weekend, and my wife and I just celebrated 17 years. So
congratulations.
Last Saturday. So this weekend has been our our celebration, which was cool. So let's see, Saturday night we went to watch Top Gun, which was incredible, man. Like, that movie was sick. And then Sunday we had church. We came home and we relaxed. Didn't really do much. Made dinner, ate outside. It was like 75 degrees last night, dude. It was so nice.
That's awesome.
Yep. And so had a good time with that. We're going to try to get some golf in the next couple of days. We're going to the Cardinals game tonight. So,
nice.
Yeah, we got some good stuff going on. Just enjoying each other, you know. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, man, it's like our kids are going to be gone in 6 years. Both of them graduated. And man, it's like, are we investing in each other? Are we going to want to spend time together when it's just the two of us? And I think the answer for us is going to be yes. I mean, we were friends for a long time before we got married. We were friends for 7 years before we started dating. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we will. It was great, man. It's nice to celebrate. The kids are gone. It's weird, but it's good. All
right, 17 years of marriage. There's something to admire about that, you know, especially in today's time. One piece of advice for a young married couple right now who's maybe, let's say I just had my 5-year anniversary. So speaking to someone who's been married for only 5 years, you're going on 18 now. What's one piece of advice you can give a husband out there?
I think the thing that's made our marriage enjoyable is, I mean, I don't know, having empathy for one another and not taking life too seriously. Like, it's serious, but like trying to make it fun because it's stressful.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard being married and being 2 people trying to be one, being 2 people that have your own dreams, your own desires, and your own wants. And those change because, you know, like who you were 5 years ago is not who you are today, and it's not who you're going to be 10 years from now. And so you change along the way as well. So being comfortable, like morphing kind of into different people a little bit, growing, being different, and letting each other kind of grow at your own pace too, because I'm a very like high performing, motivated individual. My wife's not. She's service oriented. We're just a little different in some aspects, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm like down here in the morning, like getting after it, I don't carry that expectation for her. You know, she wants to come down and work out at some point. That's her, right? Like we have to just have empathy for one another and seek each other's best interest and be willing to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You know, like,
yeah,
marriage is not a competition. It's not a game, you know, it's like a massive project they got to work together on. It's a massive project. It's not a competition. You're not going to win in marriage, as Simon Sinek says. There's no winning in marriage. You know, you're either a team working together or you're not. And so, I don't know if that answers your question, but
I think that's great insight. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. But 5 years is nothing to throw a hat at. I mean, it's hard, and I think every year that you are still married is just a victory in of itself because it's hard. So very cool. All right, I'm doing plyo today, man. I gotta work these legs. You were saying something interesting before we came on the show today. You were saying that you feel like you've lost some strength recently, and
Yes.
but what have you gained in return?
Hip mobility, cardiovascular endurance.
It's a sacrifice, right? Like you started running, you're now running 3. You can just go out and run 3 miles anytime you want in the heat. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at regulating that too. Like it really doesn't feel that hot when you're in the moment. Like even I've been ending a lot of my runs with like an all-out empty the tank. Like let's say I'm a quarter mile from the house or half a mile. It's like, all right, we're gonna pick a pace that's pretty intense and we're gonna stick to it no matter what cost. I've been enjoying that quite a bit.
Yeah,
dude. If you haven't opened it wide open and full sprinted and really tried to propel your body for a constant 100 yards like the entire time, like
yeah.
You should do that as a human. If you haven't felt your body do that in a long time, like I encourage you to get out there and build up to that because it's kind of freeing, especially as you get older. It's like, I can still do this.
Yeah, open it up. Go run a 40-yard dash or a 100-yard sprint. Get those legs like where your feet are kicking your butt.
Do not hop up off the couch after years and years and years of dormancy and try to sprint. Your hip flexor, your hamstring, everything's going to snap and tear.
Yeah. Got to build back up to it. All things we used to just do as kids. Doesn't quite work that way. Well, let me flip the tables on you because, there are people that are just now getting married. What would somebody at 5 years of marriage, what advice would you give to somebody who's jumping in year 1?
It's very easy to transition from dating to engaged to marriage without ever taking time to intentionally discuss that next phase in your relationship. It's easy to just kind of transition through the motions smoothly. You kind of go from the paradise phase or the honeymoon phase, as they call it, into real world life. It's like speak early and often if you plan to spend your life on someone. And I don't want to say manage expectations, but be completely transparent up front with like what you want out of life, kind of what you expect from each other. Not an agreed, that's like a, quid pro quo thing, but it's like kind of like you mentioned earlier, you have each other's best interest in mind. You want to know who this person is, what makes them tick. Having that open, upfront, clear communication, I think, is the most key thing. I think it's a cliche thing that's talked about but not practiced enough. It took us a little longer in our, relationship to get to that point, but once we did, everything was just so much better. There's just less friction, intensity, because you're on the same page and you kind of know that way you're not placing an expectation on somebody that is nothing like, or will ever be that person.
Right. No, I think you're right about that. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about something too. Is don't be afraid to be authentic self, and let them be their authentic self. Because I think a lot of times in marriage and relationships, we feel like we have to be perfect. Like the other person's not going to accept our flaws or our faults or kind of who we are. And once you reach the moment in your marriage where you truly accept other people for who they are, it's liberating and it gets really good. Let me give you an example. My wife is a massive rule follower, like strict rule follower. And I would calculate myself as more of a rule evaluator. Every rule that's out there, I'm like, a person made this rule. Does this rule make sense? And a lot of times I think in those terms, right?
Was I consulted before they made this?
This used to be a source of conflict for us because she's like, I don't understand why you can't follow the rule. I'm like, I don't understand why you don't understand that a man made this rule and this rule might not make sense. And she goes, but it doesn't matter. It's a rule. I'm like, yeah, but who made it? Like, we had this kind of, you can see where this is going, right? This is just conflict. Yeah. And then it was probably like, I'm going to say like maybe 8 or 9 years ago that we were talking with some friends. And I think we both just realized that this is actually quite common, that oftentimes a rule follower will marry a rule breaker or a rule evaluator. It's like the good girls want to date the bad guys, right? It's like, it's like brings a little fun into their life. that they wouldn't do on their own, and vice versa, bring structure and order into life that you wouldn't do on your own. So it's attractive,
balance.
but then it becomes a source of contention sometimes. And so finally, my wife and I think, both got to a place where we're just like, you know what, this is who we are. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, we need each other, actually. This is good for each other, because if we were both rule evaluators, we'd probably be in big trouble. And if we were both rule followers, we probably wouldn't have as much fun. Maybe it wouldn't be as adventurous or whatever. So all to say, like, once we started to embrace who we are and have fun with it, that's when it really got good. I got a funny story about that I'll tell real quick. So one year we were doing our taxes, and we don't take taxes out of our check. We just pay at the end of the year. We just prefer to do that. So we just save it up throughout the year, and then we just write a check. So one year we're doing our taxes, and it was right about the deadline, because we always wait till the last minute. And so we're going to Kansas City to see my parents. We got our taxes done, and my wife was going to bring the checkbook, and we were going to mail them from my parents' house. Well, we forgot the checkbook, and so my wife's stressing because we're going to be late. We have to pay the fee, the $25 late fine or whatever it is, and she's just stressing over it. So we get back to St. Louis. The next business day, she goes up to the post office to mail off our taxes, and the guy behind the counter says, "Excuse me, ma'am, are these your taxes?" And she goes, "Yes." She goes, "Are they late?" She said, "Yeah." And then she said, "Are you going to have to pay the fine?" Or he said, and she goes, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Well, if you just buy your own stamps and put your own stamps on there, I'll post date it to yesterday, so you don't have to pay the fine." And the wife goes, "You would do that?" And he goes, "Yeah." So she gets home, and she's like, "Babe, you're not going to believe what happened." I said, "This guy got there, and he said if I put my own stamps on it, he would timestamp it to yesterday, and we wouldn't have to pay the fee." And it was great. And I was like, huh. I said, it's nice being around some rule breakers every once in a while, isn't it? And that's like, because not only did he do that for her, but he felt good about it. Like, he helped somebody out. A rule follower would have been like, "I'm sorry, man, I can't do that for you." And, wouldn't have happened. So it's like, I think we started to both appreciate each other and the differences that we have. And that's, I think that's the other thing too, is appreciate each other,
Yeah.
You bring different skill sets, different priorities, sometimes slightly different values or whatever. And there's huge value in recognizing that and appreciating that. So maybe that's the key word. It's really.
She married a sales guy. It's like, you can't, you got to ask for this. It's like also the worst thing that can happen is they say no. So it's like, well, you got to I'm going to make this person say no.
That's right. We're not going to be in any worse situation than we are now. But it's funny too, because like, even now, if something comes up and it creates an awkward situation, I'll take the hit. I'll be like, "Hey, I'll go ask. I'll go." She goes, No, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, it's still just embarrassing and hard sometimes. But we appreciate each other. And I think that, that's really important, to appreciate each other. So I'll add that to my advice of what I would say. So what we're going to talk about on the show today was the value of small wins. Because I don't know about you, but being a competitive guy, it's like you always want the big one. You want the home run. And sometimes I don't think that we appreciate or value the small wins, like getting up when your alarm clock goes off. It's a small win. Making your bed is the first task complete of the day. That's a small win. And just experiencing some of these, small wins in life, and then they add up,
It's funny because if you mentioned that, there's another perspective that's completely in line with it. It's like, to be successful, you develop a set of daily behaviors. Like, that's really how that works, right? It's consistency over time. So it's like the things you did essentially, at least fundamentally, to get you to your successful stage are probably still the same things you're doing now. So it's like, when you think about it, as long as you're behaving like a millionaire and you have those daily behaviors, like, you're in the same shoes. So it's like all it takes over time. Some people look at it as stacking wins. It's those daily consistent behaviors, the small tedious things that require self-discipline, and like that type of structure, because that's what ultimately gets you to that place. Just doing that over and over, which is the answer nobody wants to hear, because you're like, "Oh man, I got to stick to this. I got to do this consistently every single day." It's like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. No, the small wins matter. And sometimes it's just a win, like you said like just, you know, a small discipline that you said you're going to do. Drinking a certain amount of water, working out, getting up on a Monday morning, working out. It's a small win. Like this workout itself, this workout today is not going to make a huge difference in our life. But doing it every day or doing it consistently throughout the week, it will make a difference, right? I mean, you have to believe that's a compound effect by Hardy. Read that book by Hardy, Compound Effect?
I haven't.
Oh, it's a good book. Real good book. Just talks about that, you know, like Simon Sinek says it as well. Going to the gym for 9 hours isn't going to do anything for you. Going to the gym for 30 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week, over time, that's going to do something for you, you know? And that's where I think people just struggle because they don't value that small win, those small wins that add up.
It just doesn't move that needle enough initially for that instant gratification, that expectation. So it's like we don't feel it's how actually important and significant that decision is, and to continue making it.
Right. Totally.
You got life thrown at you. You know, you got trials, tribulations, anxiety, stress, fear, all this stuff going on in our world. Yet on top of that, it's so easy to just start skipping those things because I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not seeing any progress.
It's like there's no point in doing this, and it's like, damn it.
Right.
Then you look back on it, it's like I should have been doing that this entire time. Can you imagine where I'd be if I did?
Yep.
Then you got regret. You're like, damn it.
I can't even tell you how many times I have said that exact same word. Like, man, I should have started. Imagine where I would be if I had just started. And sometimes, like you would think that'd be the trigger to start.
You'd think so.
Because we make that excuse or we feel the regret, we just sit in that moment of disgust for ourselves.
We wallow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. But those small wins, man, they matter. They matter. Oh, dude, plyo, man.
Get you going, huh?
Yeah, like my hamstrings and thighs are going to be feeling it tomorrow.
My shoulders are going to be on fire tomorrow.
Yeah. My daughter started working out, which I'm really excited about. They just kind of got to a point where they were like, I'm going to start working out, which is, you know, something we've been praying for too, that they would have the motivation to want to do that. And then hopefully they'd see us and would want to do it. And I keep thinking to myself, like, you know, it's just these small wins are going to add up for them. It's just cool to see.
Yeah, they get to be around that environment on a daily basis and see mom and dad doing it.
That's really the key. Like, that's another thing. It's, you know, we talk about marriage. We didn't talk about parenting, but, you know, parents are really good. You actually posted about this. Key to parenting is learning the hypocritical game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not good to eat after 8 o'clock, sweetheart. We're not going to do that while you got a bag of chips just waiting in the laundry room, just about to plow down. But, like, you know, when the kids get to, like, 10, 11, 12, they start to recognize that hypocrisy. And my wife and I have had these conversations like, you know what? If we want them to read their Bible daily, they need to see us reading our Bible daily. If we want them to work out and see the value of working out, they've got to see us putting in the effort and working out. If we want them to, you know, take reading seriously, they need to see us reading as adults and learning. You know, learning is important, never stops. Like, the hypocrisy game as a parent only lasts for about 8 to 10 years. And then you have to have to get with it.
I feel that.
Yep. It's so true though, man. So true. All right.
My 9-year-old's catching on to this stuff too fast too.
Yep. They are, man. They observe.
And then when
it's like we tell them when to put their phone down, but we don't put our phone down.
Exactly. When you realize the hypocrisy and you're like, damn, I suck. Yeah. It's like, oh, what's good for, you know, thee, not for me kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's like, why are you preaching the importance of it? You don't do it yourself.
That's right. So one thing that we did was we got a charging station area. I think you saw it actually when you were here in our living room, kind of tucked back behind the corner. And it's got 6 outlets, and I put 6 outlets over there so we can just charge whatever we need to charge at night. Well, I finally made the rule at the house at nighttime, all of our phones go over there and they start charging. And we don't touch them till after breakfast. And I'm not going to lie, it was hard at first because
That's a great rule.
I'm addicted to my phone like everybody else.
Yep.
But doing that and now seeing my daughter do that, like this is normal. This is healthy. And it's done two things. One, I don't stay up as late because I'm not on my phone. My phone goes over to the charging station. But two, I get up and I don't look at my phone until after breakfast.
Yeah.
With today being the exception because you and I have to coordinate for this morning. But otherwise, I get up, I go have breakfast, I read my Bible, spend time with the family, and I'm not concerned about the phone or what's waiting for me for the day. And it's like, I want to teach my daughters that they can live life without their phone. Not all of life. They're going to have to, obviously, like this is kind of a part of life now. But they can actually live life, part of life, without their phone. But in order to do that, I have to be willing to do that myself. And
You know what, man? That's something I want to really work on because I've got to imagine this is a not just me thing. I'm hoping it's not at least, but getting into sales, man, especially in a really competitive environment where you feel obligated to really prove yourself. You put all this pressure on yourself to perform. It becomes like it kind of consumes your life, right? Like when you accept sales as a profession and not just a job, you can't turn that sales thing off. So I developed this severe anxiety of not having my phone because I'm going to miss a call, a text, or an email from a prospect, a lead, a client that's going to. And if I don't have my phone on me, I'm leaving myself open to missing a revenue generating or relationship building opportunity. And it's like that never happens. Like there's nothing really that important going on to where you have. And I call myself out on it, but it's like there's still this habit or this internal thing that you go into autopilot mode. It's like this FOMO thing that's not real. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Right. And I think it's all about managing expectations too. Like if you have a voicemail, like I don't listen to voicemails. I just don't, man. It's like, it's one of the things I've just kind of given up on. So my voicemail literally says, hey, you reached Trey at Beta Consulting Group. I'm not going to check voicemail. So send me a text message or send me an email and I'll get it. And that kind of sets that expectation, but you can do the exact same thing with your schedule, Hey, this is Hayden Allred. If it's before 8 a.m. or after 6 p.m., leave a message, send me a text message. I'll get to it when I'm back in the office. Like if you set the expectation, I think people are realistic about that.
Yeah.
Even though sales is really important, I really think it's about managing expectations.
Because even logistics, that's probably one of the more time critical industries, because everything revolves around punctuality and planning. Whether you're covering a load or whatever the case might be. So I think that's what there's always a sense of urgency. Everyone makes it feel like there is when it's like, could that have really waited? It's like, yeah, it could have.
Well, and you set your parameters, right? So maybe the thing is you're going to check your phone, but you're not going to stay on your phone. Like that's your small win. I'm going to check the phone and make sure there's no fires. And if there's no fires, I'm putting it back down until X time, right? And that's how it's going to work. And so I think there's ways to do that and still manage the expectations, that you got. I think that's really critical.
You do negatives.
Dude, these froggers, man. These froggers are killer. Hopping back and forth.
Yeah. Dude, you ever do negatives to finish your workouts? Like pull-ups?
I do.
All the way to the top and as slow as you physically can. Descend.
Dude, the other day.
It kills.
So, I can typically do 7 to 9 pull-ups in a set. On, I think it was Saturday, I was doing basically negatives. I was going slow all the way up, getting my chin above the bar and counting to 2, and then going slow all the way down. The most I could do was 3, like correctly.
Yeah, that's what I did. It was 3 too.
Like it just burnt so bad. So yeah, I know exactly. What all our sleeps are this morning? Hope they didn't sleep in.
I don't know, which is also a great point. If you cannot do a pull-up, which if you want to feel superior, I say this many times. If you want to feel superior or better than someone in some aspect, be able to do like a pull-up or two, because literally 99% of America cannot go do a single full range hanging pull-up, which is kind of scary when you think about it.
Right.
But
right.
I had one of my buddies who used to do powerlifting stuff. His saying was like, every man should be able to save his own life, including women. Like, everyone should be able to save their own life. They're hanging by a cliff, even though it's a little bit of extreme scenario. It's not super unrealistic to happen.
Right.
In some ways.
It could happen.
Even in the Tough Mudder, dude,
nice.
climbing those inverted ladders to get over the top. Like, if you let go,
yeah.
you're in that one spot, like, dude, you could, bad things could happen. It's pretty high up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one was about, 12, 15 feet tall?
Basically a second story, all the way up,
Yeah.
Up. It was past 10 feet, which you're 200 pounds falling flat on that. Bad things happen.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think everybody should I think about that with, like, running. Like, you should be able to sprint. What if you have to run for your life?
Right.
I mean, it's funny how we've gotten so comfortable in life that we don't even think about stuff like that, We've so
lost our primitive awareness about how the world actually is.
Exactly. I'll just drive. I'll just get in my car and drive. Doesn't exactly work that way. Hey, speaking of small wins, man, a couple things. Got Brent Orsuga on Standing Out this morning.
Nice.
That guy went on a 16-flight journey in the last 30 days. And it wasn't just because, like, he was pouring into his personal development and meeting with coaches, meeting with mentors, meeting with groups of executives. What I love about that guy is that he is all about improving himself first. And that's a small win, just saying, hey, I'm going to improve myself. I love that. We're going to have a great conversation today at 10:30 Central on LinkedIn Live, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or not Instagram, sorry. Where else? YouTube, that's right. So that's exciting. But the other thing is, today we are launching the Beta Consulting Group swag store. And I'm so excited about that. We're going to have T-shirts and polos and hats, water bottles, coffee mugs, all kinds of stuff, all about inspiring other people. Some of our sayings are hashtag Be Excellent Today, hashtag Finish Strong Friday, hashtag Mental Monday, Iron Minds, Iron Sharpens Iron, hashtag Branding Matters, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have it on the store for people to buy and just be inspired and inspire those around them. So I'm excited about that. That's a small win. That's something we've been talking about for a while, and it's launching today. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm going to cop some merch and be one of your first clients.
Cop some merch. Shop.baitingconsultinggroup.com. Shop.baiting. I got to figure out how to do a discount code. I'll get you a discount code. We'll figure all that out. But support small business, everybody. We're excited about that. So it's going to be great. Just, again, a small win, and it's cool. Very excited.
I just realized I feel like White Goodman with this headband from Dodgeball, Ben Stiller's character.
Yeah.
We at Global Gym are better than you. We know it. What a great movie.
That's an interesting. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah. My arms are dead.
Hey, how was the UFC fight night this week? Was there one?
Oh my gosh. This one? Yes. This past weekend was absolutely phenomenal. It was just a fight night. It was in a paper. It wasn't
There's one
even
coming up you were telling about.
International Fight Week this Saturday.
This Saturday. So, all right, everybody, listen, I'm going to actually watch a UFC fight. I can't believe it. I've never watched a full UFC fight. I've never watched one fight, much less a whole night of fights. So we're going to have to do like a live stream or live tweet this bad boy.
I think we have to. Dude, it's going to be one of those nights where you may not understand much about the sport from a technical aspect, but they do such a good job highlighting it. The commentary are like basically either current or former Hall of Fame fighters or like elite fighters. Like, so the way they break it down is very easy to understand just as a person not familiar with fighting or martial arts. Yeah. And the level of technique between each fighter throughout the entire night, doesn't matter who you're watching, is so high level. You're not going to be able to just not appreciate it. Like, these aren't just people brawling, swinging for the fence, hoping for the best. It's going to be technicality of the highest degree in a chess game with severe consequences. Very high level chess game with severe consequences. How Joe Ruin likes to explain it. It's very accurate. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't believe I'm going to do it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so everybody listen. So have a great week. Make sure you got your mind right. Make sure that you're helping somebody else out. As we said, iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Help each other be better this week. Next week is 4th of July, so we're actually going to go on Tuesday, July 5th. We'll be back for episode 14 of Iron Minds with Hayden Allred and myself, Trey Griggs. You guys have a killer week, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side.
Later, guys.
Peace out.